Hello and welcome to the channel AOK Games, where I am an Airbus pilot, a Boeing pilot, a deep sea submarine captain. I've been Everest and to the top of it in the middle of winter without a goat 16 times. One, I only used my left arm to climb up because I just wanted to challenge myself. And yeah, so, all joking aside, let's check out this new Orbex Direct aircraft by the company named Cows, da42. Essentially, I'm not sure if this is study level or not. It doesn't really matter because the real question is this plane cool enough to go for $100 hamburger and have your personal friend pay for the $100 hamburger, pay for the airplane, pay for the gas, pay for I guess your electric bill too, why not, right? So we'll see if this plane is truly as cool in this review that I'm going to try and leave as pointed as possible for you viewers out there, and we'll see if the aircraft really is pretty much all that in a bag of chips, proverbially speaking. Anyhow, so a little bit about the plane. Obviously, the da42 is a twin-engine trainer aircraft, all jokes aside. It features things with the flight model, with accurate performance as stated on their site, and handling with over 1,500 hours of testing, accurate electrical systems, very nice looking airplane. I figured one of the things that I would like to do is take the drone camera around and just zoom in these 4K details and give you all the viewers out there a little bit of presence and ambiance with checking this out. And I have to be honest with you, this so far is looking unbelievable. I mean, the texture detail in that main wheel gear strut and the polished metal on the fork there is unbelievable. The writing is insane. I mean, even down to like, look at these screw heads here. That's insane. I like the visual wear quality of this for sure. It is quite a stunning aircraft visually so far speaking. Oh, check, you got the carbon fiber. Check that out. That looks cool. I like the wear on the metal, even on the mains here. The brakes, check out the brakes. Yeah, that's the wrong way on the controller, but doesn't matter. I'm not a study level simmer anyway. That's insane. Very cool. Very cool. And I say, let's also take a look out here at the wings too, huh? I'd like to go up in altitude. Got your little static port there, pitot tube. Wow, look at the leading edges. I like the wear too, as if these are supposedly used for trainer, twin engine, light aircraft. I like how it actually shows like the plane has been used quite a bit. That's cool. Look at the LEDs. Twin star. I would say there is an exquisite amount of detail here for sure. On the outside, absolutely. Look at the sun gleaming off of the shiny paint in the engine cell. Now you're going to see that warning. You're like, oh, it's a propeller plane. But it says Jet A. Correct. This is the TDI, turbo diesel injected. So this is indeed a piston-powered diesel engine aircraft. And diesels also operate on, you got that right, it's Jet A. So that's kind of cool. Even if we go closer to the cabin, sorry about my Indiana Jones jacket there. I actually have no idea who that fellow is in the right seat. Hopefully he's, like I said, willing to pay for the hamburger, the plane, the gas, and everything. Wow, just wow. Look at that. Look at the detail from the exterior drone model of that cabin environment. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so that being said, you've seen the outside. I do much approve. This is quite the stunning model visually. Let's go inside and check that out while we're at it, eh? Okay, so here we are, of course. And let's look at the angles from the inside. Absolutely brilliant. Just as high fidelity here inside as obviously the outside. Man, I tell you, I'm impressed. So, like I said, it doesn't really matter if it's study level or not. What does that even mean? Is the person that you're taking around in the passenger seats persons, are they capable and interested in buying you free meals on a free airplane based off of how cool this aircraft can be? So, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's close this canopy up here. And the engine sounds. I have not actually, disclaimer here, flown this plane yet. Really? How hard can it be? Like I said, been to Mount Everest 1,600 times. Pretty much submarine captain, Airbus pilot, Boeing pilot. Nothing surprises me. Uh, let's go ahead and close that up. You'll get the exterior sounds shortly here. So we'll throw in the electric masters like you do in pretty much every man-made device with a battery on it. We'll get these G1000NXIs ready to go. We'll turn on the avionics masters. What's nice about this is I do believe that this aircraft is FADEC, full authority digital engine control. I did not read that anywhere, so excuse me if I'm wrong, but, what's a fella to do? We're going to leave the pitot heat off for now. So I've got these pumps turned on, and the fuel controls, we are going to flop up for the port and starboard into the on positions. Don't have to worry about the propeller pitch, and do not have to worry about the engine mixture, as it's FADEC. It's done digitally by itself. So that's cool. Park and brake on. We've got our readouts here. I'm going to hit the magic B key, and we're going to synchronize our barometric pressure with the field here on the day.
System test. Okay.
That's great. Glad to know. And let's go ahead and start this beast up. And you just have to look for the change there in the other side. You see how the arrow is pointing, was pointing to the bottom left, but now it's pointing to the bottom right. Left and right. We'll swap over our CDI. And we'll let the engines warm up. But by letting them warm up, let's go outside and actually listen to this beast. Before we do that, let's throw on a notch of flaps, if we would. Okay, that's for our departure. Interior propeller animations. Sweet, as expected at this point. And I'm just going to go ahead and be quiet and let this aircraft engines speak for themselves. Sweet. They do sound very cool. I like the sound of the propellers actually chopping through the air. That's an awesome sound. Clearly not default, so that must indeed be custom. Let's go ahead and remove the parking brakes. I've also turned on the lights, exterior illumination, and that being said, I'm going to taxi out to the active, and then I'll get back to you in a moment's notice when we're just about ready to take off, so we'll see you in a few short seconds. Okay, so welcome back, and I'm just almost to the active, but I'm kind of playing with the inputs here on the rudders and the brakes and the steering wheel, just to feel what this twin-engine light aircraft feels like for the ground manipulation of the steerability, and it's nice. I would say it feels light, but then again, this is not an Airbus or 747 or anything of that nature, and it feels as though the way I would expect it to feel in real life. Responsive, new, very accurate, and really fun. So let's go ahead and line up on the runway, and we'll go to full power, and then we'll literally get on out of Dodge here. And we are set to go with that. So let's go ahead and pull power up slowly. Listen to the noises. Feel the response of these TDIs, the engines. Practically 81% load. Let's go a little higher there. Beautiful transition in sound. And we are at the rotate. Gentle tug back on the yoke, not even a tug, just a smidgen. Pulled right off.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
And gear
Don't
up.
sink. Don't sink.
And let's pull the
Don't
flaps
sink.
up.
Don't sink.
Absolutely is not happy
Don't
with
sink.
that terrain.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
There we go. It's high enough that the terrain avoidance system there is not going to continually complain. That's cool. Make the right-hand turn out over the Northern Pacific here. This is all beautiful day. Look at the clouds. Just gonna hand fly this thing, do some small pattern work here. Climbing out at 92 knots approximately. And I actually want to go outside. Let's check out the cabin, well, actually the exterior noises. That's awesome. It has that diesel chug, does it not? Absolutely brilliant. So we are still at 91% power. Let's bring it back to a more modest cruise. Let's trim this aircraft as we're flying in this northerly direction. Out for neutral flight, hands off. See what kind of speeds we can get out of it. Gonna stay close to the area here. And that's pretty true flight right there. 1,880 feet, give or take. Trying to stay below the cloud level here. That's awesome. Nice back seat. Sounds are excellent. Cruising at 68% power, 125 knots, level flight, clean configuration, no flaps, nothing. Really nice for diesel performance. Just manually hand flying this to feel, you know, the inputs, as this is a review. I really want to give you the honest take on this. Feels really, really nice. Let's see how it does in climb performance while we have this break in the clouds. See what kind of speeds we can get out of the vertical while not stalling. So that's 2,700 feet. Yeah, we're dropping to the white arc. That's okay. Let's pull it down a little bit. We'll nullify the acceleration or deceleration in the climb. 113, 14, 15 knots in the climb. Pulling about 1,350 feet, give or take, from sea level. Awesome. Now what I'm curious about is, let's see how this thing does if we turn off one of the engines. So to do that, I'm going to reach down here, and it's got a real nice feature. You can tap that back, and then as a safety feature, what you can do is tap that again, wiggle that back, and then we'll put in the appropriate amount of right stick there to counter that. Just see if it's actually flyable. We'll go to 100% power. Even though we are windmilling, we're still capable of flying on one engine. Not the way I would preferably fly, even with a non-feathered windmilled engine, but it's working. So we'll go ahead and we'll reach on down here and we'll turn that back on, and then we'll recorrect. So very, very interesting to see. I like the flight dynamics as they are stated as being, I don't know, fairly accurate. That's cool, especially considering this aircraft is a twin engine. I like to see that airflow disruption and the lack of power from the port engine missing there. Really nice. Flight dynamics, I definitely approve of. Not like I'm anybody. I just, like I said, climbed Mount Everest 1,600 times with no jacket in the middle of winter. Not even, and you know something about that? I didn't even use supplemental oxygen. Like, I mean, really, you know? Like, a fella's got to do what a fella's got to do. And if he wants to have some fun, man, and he's got to climb Mount Everest, you got to do it. You got to have fun. We only go around this Ferris wheel once. So, I'm going to come back towards the airport here on our dandy little flight to test out this, I think, awesome airplane so far. I'm looking forward to taking this on some cross countries, maybe make some more videos. Wouldn't even mind live streaming this on the Twitch channel. It's got a relatively, I mean, I don't think I would want to, even if we had the fuel stores, I don't even think I would want to. It's got like 1,300 plus mile range, nautical mile range, something like that. I don't even think I would want to take this cross country, at least as far as like California. It would take quite a while, especially if you're higher up, say 18,000 feet with a 70 or 80 knot headwind. Not really an ideal aircraft to go super far in, but that's not, I feel, what this is about, as they pretty much are very nice twin engine light aircraft trainers. So you have to use the product as it's intended. And this product is indeed extremely high fidelity. The visuals are really stunning. And at this point in the simulator, you know, what kind of aircraft are we talking about here? We're talking about black square TBM. We're talking about, you know, conversions even from analog aircraft. The Baron, analog Baron, right? That's high fidelity. Now, if you get the mod for it, we're talking about even Phoenix simulations, A320. I would absolutely say the fidelity on this aircraft in the short time that I've had it on this very first flight, I mean, just look at the propeller animations, right? Just listen to the audio. It is that hi-fi. I do believe so myself. So it's one thing to review an aircraft and then put it away forever, but as an individual who spends their own money to produce content for YouTube, Twitch, so on and so forth, the real question is, as I originally stated, is it cool enough for somebody you know to go on a $100 hamburger adventure, pay for the plane, pay for the fuel, pay for everything, including the hamburger and the cheese? I'm going to have to go with a strong yes on this one. I do think this aircraft is absolutely worth the value and money, for sure. Study level or not, I'm not the one to make that call. You know, it's like they got the Phoenix A320 Sims and all these other ones that have all these, you know, failures and things you can program. I can't honestly say that I've ever, you know, encountered a failure in any of my flights during any of the maintenance I've ever performed on any aircraft over the last 10 or 15 years, and I have signed off hundreds of logbooks back to airworthiness, and not a single one of them has ever encountered a failure to the nature that you can portray in the sim, which I think is cool. I think it's cool that you can do that, don't get me wrong. But even if there are no pre-programmed failures, things like that, engines catching on fire, emergency fire bottles being needed, that, you know, so forth and the other things, I still think this is quite an insane aircraft. So we're lining up here again. I'm going to throw down the gear as it's coming down. We're getting yelled at.
Check gear.
And I'm going to trim out for neutral flight with the flaps. Now you might notice I have a quite zoomed out view actually on the cabin here for approach. That's because, you know, if you're in a twin, I feel like you kind of just have to see the twin spinning, right? If we're not here for the twin chop, what are we here for? Certainly not my entertainment and humor. quite dramatic approach here on the Pacific Northwest coast. Trees that nobody bothered to trim down right before the active. That's cool. We'll make it, I hope. And very, very choppy. Again, I think that displays, in all honest, the lightness of the aircraft, affected by things that, you know, heavier aircraft do not necessarily get affected by. How was that for my first touchdown? I would say pretty dramatic. I think the lightness of the aircraft plays a part when you're coming into terrain that actually has thermal variations in it because of the trees, i.e. all the rest of that stuff. But controllable? Absolutely. I'm just an amateur at this. I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's clean this aircraft up. Flop these flaps up. One thing I will say about this aircraft is, although the view is small out of the cabin, you have this light aircraft. I definitely say you have to watch out for the wings, because these wings are, as I'm hovering the right side of the taxiway, they are fairly large for the size of the cabin on this aircraft, in my opinion. Definitely do not want to take out the lift, even though this plane's so cool. They'd probably say, no, it's no big deal, you know, we'll pay for an entire new one and buy you the hamburger. So let's pull in here. And then we'll just make a big U-turn here, huh? Let's make a left-hand U-turn. We don't park with those type of people. Remember, we've summited Everest 8,800 times. There's this guy. Not sure what he's doing. Quite suspicious. He probably wants a ride as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the parking brakes on. Let's go ahead and chop these throttles. They already are. Great. Let's go ahead and pull the fuel controls back. Open the gate. Open the gate. Tug. Turn off the cabin air. Then let's go ahead and hopefully silence that. Open the window. Open the cabin. Turn off the pitot heat. Turn off the avionics. Turn off the electrics. Don't want to hear any of these. We're back. Just as quickly as that, right? Get some fresh air in here. Solid animations. This is indeed a solid aircraft. I 100% recommend it, as I've already stated. Flies well, sounds well, textures, details, everything about it is worth your time in gold, for sure. As always, I hope you, and hopefully we'll see you for some more soon. Have a great 2024 if you don't wind up managing to stop back on the channel, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.